Hey everyone, you're watching the Esperanza 243. This is book reading parts 14, 1-4 of Long Live Menavia. This is actually the part where, what did I do with that paper? This is actually the part where I go from packet 2 to packet 3. Very exciting. Whoops. It's pretty exciting. This week has been hectic and pretty stressful. This past Sunday was my birthday. I am now 24. Booyah! Sort of booyah. One more year to the quarter mile. To the quarter life. And my birthday was actually a little stressful, but I did have fun. Half the time. I really shouldn't complain. But I did have fun. And today is the, I know I'll be uploading this video on Friday, but today, Wednesday, is 12/12/12. So exciting. And not to mention, today is my grandma's birthday and my best friend's birthday. So exciting. My grandma's 88. And my best friend is the same age I am. So cool. When I mean best friend, I mean that little cuckoo person that I guest starred last year, before she went off to Colorado for AmeriCorps. AmeriCorps! AmeriCorps! So cool that she completed. It's so cool that she completed the AmeriCorps training, because now she's back in town and I can hang out with her whenever I want. And now that I have my own apartment, I can finally invite her to my own place without having being embarrassed by my mom. Well, sorry, I didn't mean that. I just... There I go, sounding insecure and loserish. Anyways, let's get to the reading. Or should I do a small recap? I'll just go over the last page of the last reading. Oh, that's right. Senor Baldwin and Bruno Pujadas find out that this mysterious woman that talked to Caprice is really her grandma, which is impossible because her grandma is dead. I couldn't resist. I had to use some sort of magic. I mean, it's not really magic, it's a spirit per se. Which is interesting. I didn't know how else to progress the book, so. Or not progress the book, but I wanted the book to be a little mysterious. As it already is, I think. Anyways, Senor Baldwin and his friend Bruno decide to head out and to the hotel that Caprice is staying at and apologize to her for yelling and the like, scaring her away. And they come across the bag that had her custom-made outfit for the city outing with Lucia. And And it turns out that she accidentally left her locket in the bag rather than having it with her. Whoa. Now I'm thinking of Finding Nemo. We were like, whoa! And you were like, whoa! We were like, whoa. That cracks me up. I can't believe I just put that in this video. Anyways, let's get to the reading, shall we? Shall we? When Senor Baldwin realized his friend wasn't next to him, he turned and discovered Bruno was taking something out of the bag. He gasped. The object turned out to be her locket. The Senor hustled to his side, looking around for people. None were around. Put it back, Bruno, he hissed. His friend looked at him in confusion. Senor Baldwin gave him a hard look. He was about to say something when Bruno gasped and dropped it back in the bag. As the two hurried to the hotel, the Senor suddenly realized they never discussed whether to tell Caprice she was a royal. He looked at his friend. Bruno, my friend, we forgot something. What is it? Are we to tell Caprice that the woman she saw was a figment of her imagination? Or her grandmother? Bruno stared at him with wide eyes. It was quiet. We cannot tell her. Using imagination is a bad idea. Telling her that she was her grandmother will spoil everything you've been working for, old friend. We cannot tell her anything. Caprice had accepted their apologies and congratulations. It was the next day, and she had brought her violin to Senor Baldwin's house, thinking Senor Pujadas might be there. When she arrived, there was already a tray of tea on the table in the drawing room, and it was before 3 o'clock. After she sat down, Senor Baldwin entered the drawing room. Hello, Miss Caprice. She smiled politely. Buona tarda, Senor Baldwin, she said. He smiled. I'm glad you arrived early. She cocked her head. We need to discuss something. He sighed. She nodded. Yes, go on. I am glad you accepted the dinner invitation from Senor Pujadas. With the dinner coming up, there shall be extra things to train you. What else is there? You shall need to learn what to speak of in conversations, how to use a fan, how to greet certain people, among other tasks. I don't mean to interrupt, Senor, but I know how to use a fan. Oh, you do? She nodded. Do you know how to put flattery, embarrassed, shy, or loath into your use? She raised her brows. I'd thought so. I knew there were ways to express oneself with a fan, but I didn't know it was that important. He nodded. Another task I'll be training you is how to eat properly. Dining requires a lot of memorization. You shall be dining with noble people and well-known people. This is a lot to learn, Senor This is a lot to learn, Senor Baldwin. Is all of it necessary? Are you certain I'll be ready in time? He smiled softly. My dear, as I have said, you will be dining with noble people and well-known people. Without a doubt, we shall need you to be prepared in every way. Yes, sir. I assume you want to start today's sessions with these tasks? He nodded with a smile. You are getting to you are getting to know me even better. After that, he started training her. Time passed. He would train her 2 hours a day. She would go back to the hotel and eat dinner. The next day, it would be the same way. Caprice would leave the hotel now and then, but no longer than an hour or two. That routine continued for 5 more days. By then, Senor Baldwin had taught several things in each tool. She learned more and had almost everything memorized. He had forgotten the deal he agreed with himself to tell Caprice of her family past. He soon noticed that and decided it wasn't the right time to tell her. Senor Bruno Pujadas decided to be a part of his men and would join their watch every other day. At times, he felt like a stalker, as he should be. But then he would remember protecting her was important. If he wasn't on watch, he would send someone else to help. Senor Baldwin and Caprice were actually having fun with the training. It helped them get to know each other much better. It was a nice day, and Caprice was walking to Senor Baldwin's house. She decided to leave her chase at the hotel and give the horse a rest. She began humming a song, one she had written in the past week. She smiled faintly as she hummed. After a while, she went from humming to whistling. She passed many people on her way to the señor's house. Some of them even looked at her oddly. Maybe her whistling bothered them, or was it something else? She was pretty good. She could go really low. Sometimes she sounded like a bird. Sorry, just an example. It's not what she actually sounded like. Suddenly, something caught her eye. It was only a brief second. It looked like someone's face, with such a cold look. The person disappeared the next second. Was he staring at her? Someone not too far was watching her. He looked in the direction she was looking. He saw the person too. He became suspicious. He walked up to a friend and asked them to find an old friend of his. He followed Caprice. Caprice decided to sing her song under her breath. Her voice was strong, though, and carried throughout the crowd. People stared at her with astonishment. It seemed like such an adventure. Who thought there could be so much trouble? When you look both ways, you'd think you were lucky. Then something comes and your life is turned around. Can't you see it now? All the love you got, can't you hear it now? Every song you heard, don't feel lonely. You get all the friends you need. Just don't breathe a word. Suddenly, she started thinking of the conversation she overheard between the Señor and Señor Bruno Pujadas. Rumors can come true, she mumbled in her singing. Her eyes widened. She quickened her pace to Señor Baldwin's house. The next second, she bumped into someone. She gasped and looked up. "Oh, Sento," she said. The woman looked kind enough. She flashed an apologetic smile. The woman gasped. "Tu ressembles Princess Mariona," the woman whispered. Caprice widened her eyes, almost with fear, but then she realized she wasn't supposed to know who that was. She was new in Menavia, after all. She pretended to be confused. "Clee?" she responded. The person... sorry. The woman hastened off the scene in embarrassment. The man who followed Caprice was surprised of the encounter. He searched for someone in the crowd. He found him and went to him as fast as he could. The person saw him running. They looked back from him to Caprice. The man nodded at him and pointed in the direction of their boss's house. The person nodded and headed off in that direction. Then the man turned and went to search for Caprice. He found her in a matter of seconds and followed her once more. That time he stuck close to her, but not too close. He didn't want her to know she was being followed. She arrived at a corner of two streets. She looked around and then looked at the street signs. She wasn't that far, only 4 blocks away from Señor Baldwin's house. Caprice continued walking. She was about to be 2 blocks away when she bumped into yet another person. She gasped and apologized in Catalan. She looked up at the person. The person looked at her. It was a man. He was tall. He didn't look that tough, but she had a gut feeling he was mean. He gave her an expression, showing he wasn't going to hurt her, though. He smiled, showing his teeth. Her nervous butterflies flew away. "Buona tarda, ¿cómo está?" She gave him a soft smile. His brows rose with interest. "Buona tarde." Oh, whoops. "Buona tarda. Molt bé. Gracias." "Mira con Princess Mariona," he whispered to her. She was confused, but the princess's name helped her out. Once again, she pretended to be confused. "Clee?" Now I'm pretty sure I'm going to murder the Catalan language here. No auría de eres aquí fuera. Estás seguro, he explained. She had a blank look. She didn't understand. No parlo bé el català. He sighed. Que parla anglais? She nodded. You shouldn't be out here. You need to be safe. Why? Who is this Princess Mariana? And that's where I'm going to stop. Not to mention that my life skills person will be here any minute. I will talk to you guys later. And hopefully I'll get some stuff done while she's here, because that's what I'm supposed to do. Alright, let me just check the time here. Oh, yikes. Oh, oh, oh. Dun dun! Bum, 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 bum. I was watching a Thumbs Wars thing the other day. It's a parody off of Star Wars. Really weird, but very funny. I know there's a channel for it, a channel about this stuff, but the channel I watched it on, the Thumb Wars, I found it on Mike Adair's channel. I will actually put those links. I will actually put a link of Mike Adair's channel. He actually does the voice of Hoop in the Hoops and Yo-Yo cards and buttons and stuff. Oh, the button! Oh, the button! The button! Where'd I put it? There it is. My sister Anna got this for me. Hoops and Yo-Yo. And listen.
Hey, this birthday person's looking fine. Really fine. Yum. Yummy, yummy.
I love it. I've been pressing it constantly. Oh, I love it. Anyways, I will talk to you guys later. And the next video will be part 15, which will be coming up pretty soon. This is DS Bronze 243, signing up.
The sound of each rock and stone. I embrace what others fear. You are not to roam in this far.